Hey.
What's up?
Here we is.
What's up, all you know bullshitters out there? Welcome to I'm a Little Buzzed. It's Tuesday night, and we're feeling good and warm up here in Central New York. This is the show where we bring a little life to business, all while sharing a glass of whatever makes you happy. It's John, Al, and Rob. We are the founders of NoBull 2020, presented by Bankers Healthcare Group.
Yes.
What are you fellas sipping this evening?
My favorite tiny little baby bottle.
Al's new love child, Fireball whiskey.
Taking a break from the wine, I'm going for Fireball.
Oh, is that a little agua? A little water tonight?
Drop back to the Empathy White tonight.
Oh.
White.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got the Empathy Red.
Water? We can't even drink water unless we're having some sort of issue where we have to.
Whatever makes you happy.
Oh, okay. Well, Fireball. Cheers.
There you go. Cheers. We just skipped it, but we'll come back to the cheers.
Yeah, cheers later.
So today's show is the business of golf. We'll be chatting with Colin McCarthy, golf pro, coach, content creator, who can hit a ping pong ball with the butt end of a golf club handle from the top of 2 flights of stairs, that then change direction into a plastic cup. Man, I just murdered that intro.
Why don't you try again?
Yeah, let me go again. I get a mulligan. Get it?
Oh, see what we did there?
All right, here we go. Today's show is the business of golf, and we will be chatting with Colin McCarthy, golf pro, coach, content creator, who can hit a ping pong ball with the butt end of a golf club handle from the top of 2 flights of stairs that change direction into a tiny plastic cup. Woo!
Tiny.
Much better.
For tiny part.
All Al heard was tiny.
That's all I heard. A little tiny thing.
So without further ado, let's cheers to life, love, lots of laughter, and to golfing, because it's currently the one sport we can all play together right now.
Right now, yeah. 1 to a cart,
Cheers.
though, right?
Cheers. Yeah, 1 to a cart. That's correct.
That's right.
But before we dive into the show and our interview with Colin, Al, I think we have some announcements.
We sure do. Yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of the show. This is where you decide whether our weekly sponsor is real or made up. So today's sponsor is Shanks Support Golf Pants for Men, to make sure that every swing is comfortable. So thanks to our sponsor Shanks, Support Golf Pants for Men. And then the
definitely need those today. 90-degree day.
Yeah, you don't need. So the always important announcements of empathywines.com. You can go buy a 12-pack of wine for a free ticket to our business conference, our No Bullshit Business Conference. You will get a free premier seating ticket, front section seating with a case of wine. So you get 12 bottles of wine and a free ticket. It's a no-brainer. But if you're not into wine and you just want to buy tickets to the event, then you can go to NoBull2020.com, get your tickets there. And no wine, but I would get the wine. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. Yeah. You go buy wine, you get a free ticket. It's like
it is a no-brainer.
Deal of a century.
Yep. Unless you're not a wine drinker.
Then
you're away. You're kind of limited.
Corporate gift.
Yeah.
Ooh, good call.
Corporate gift. Yeah. And speaking of corporate gifts, if you really want to like throw down on the wine world, then you buy 20 cases of wine. And then what that will do is that will give you exclusive VIP access to our roundtable discussion, which is basically a meet and greet with our keynote speaker, Gary Vaynerchuk. You get to hang out with him for an hour and talk about business, life, whatever, your problems, whatever it is that you want to talk about. You get that hour time with him and then 19 other people at that table that are very influential people. So it's a fantastic opportunity. And you can buy 20 cases of wine to do that. Again, empathywines.com. And just put in our code NoBull2020 as the promo code. So go buy some wine and either get tickets or get a baller experience.
It's going to be sweet for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it without further ado. This is the show where we're going to talk about the business of golf. Tonight we're sharing a glass of whatever makes him happy with Colin McCarthy, golf pro, entertainer, coach, content creator. Buzzed Nation, please welcome Colin McCarthy.
Hey, there he is.
Ladies and gents, what's up? How you doing?
Chilled out.
Good.
Yes, very chilled, very relaxed.
Do we all?
So I'm so relaxed here that I actually have to drink water. So we'll just, yeah. On bed rest right now.
Just buzzed off life. You're just buzzed off life.
Absolutely.
A little bed
So-
rest. That's great.
Mhm.
Yeah. So talk to us about the bed rest. What happened?
So I had found out about a month ago I had a genetic spine disorder. Basically it's called spondylolisthesis, or ironically it's also called Pars defect. So yeah, right.
It is
I
ironic.
started laughing about that.
Sorry
Yeah,
to laugh, but
You
yeah.
don't have to use that in your
No,
marketing
you can't.
to realize that.
Operation went really well, so I'm pleased. And it's been 2 weeks in, so yeah, just kind of chilling and help my students via virtual, and then hopefully make it out to the range in a few days and work with them as well and well, I have a lot of content right now, so I kind of banked it, so it's going to be there for a while.
Good. Oh, that actually answers one of my questions I had for you. Was you're just creating content all the time and banking it? Because I see that, like, I'm in the marketing world and we work with some influencers, and we see that with a lot of the ones that are really successful and have a great engaged following, is they're just creating content all the time and have it back channeled, that now they're releasing it because of COVID and restrictions on what they can and can't do. So yeah, obviously makes things easier.
It definitely does. I mean, especially when you have like a certain day where it's like, I had Trick Shot Tuesday, and so you're kind of like, oh, which one should I choose? And you're like kind of picking between them. You're like, oh man, what do I say for a caption?
Yeah.
Blah, blah. But it's good to have something on backup, so you're not running and rushing to the golf course or to your, designated spot you do all your trick shots or your content in general for that specific day, for your fans and your followers to actually watch it and view it and enjoy it for that certain day. They come to your page and say, oh, what's he going to do this week?
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting to be able to have a calm direction every single day of the week now, as opposed to just posting random stuff that I hope people would like.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a good time.
Little method to the madness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of that, what is life like for a golf pro right now? I mean, obviously you're on bed rest, but what are other peers dealing with? Are they doing virtual stuff? What's that all look like?
Courses being closed. A lot of private courses are actually closed. That's their decision. Public courses are open in some areas, some are not. Georgia, where I am at, everything's practically open. So our governor is a little bit different than, he's a little bit more relaxed than say, other cities and states that have golf courses. I know up in Massachusetts, it's pretty serious up there near Boston area. So I think things are still locked down. I could be mistaken, but a lot of coaches, I've tried to help out a few coaches as well. Like, hey, this student is actually near you if you want to work with him virtually, and then he can come to you. So it's a community. So you want to help each other out as much as you can, because that's why I do this for the game, and not necessarily to pad my wallet, but the more you help people, the more you grow in the game, and it'll come back to you eventually. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
Is the Top Golf open down in Atlanta?
I'm not sure about Alpharetta. I thought they were going to open it. I know that a couple of them are open. I'm not quite sure which ones, but I know that there are some that are open. I know Kansas City's is open, I'm pretty sure, because I know Garrett Clark, GM Golf, pretty well, and they were saying that they were going to go, and I was like, "Hey guys, have fun." We always try to communicate when we can with each other. Yeah, it's a good thing to always have a communication, especially nowadays, especially you guys communicating. I know where are you all located?
We're all in upstate New York.
In the same house.
Yeah.
It'll be just different rooms.
Same house. Just
Same house. We're
I'm in the garage. Rob's in the office. Al's in the playroom. I don't know.
Is that pink light?
Yeah, it was the red light district.
The playroom.
Yeah, I'm in Thailand.
There's a sex swing in the back.
No, we're in Syracuse, New York, upstate New York.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what did coaching come first or did trick shots come first? And I mean, obviously you're in the pro golf game, but like which one really led to the other?
Coaching, obviously playing came first, but coaching when I was 15, that's when I really started to actually, I grew up on a driving range and I was grandfathered into the game, obviously from my grandfather. And then I grew to know it so well, people started asking me questions and I thought, I know so much about this, the simplicity of it. So I thought, I could teach rules and teach some things, putting pretty simple. And then I eventually learned my way into, teaching and then finally teaching at a golf course. And then I grew up and kind of coaching my own high school team in a sense. And then going to a golf academy and then, becoming a personal trainer. So it all kind of led me to be really solidified coach for just the golf swing unintentionally, inadvertently. And that's, I believe, when you have a true craft is when you don't do things too intentionally. You have you kind of get there, but not so drilled on purpose that you have to be perfect. And that's when it kind of all falls into place. So that's kind of how it all worked out.
Then you just started doing tricks and you were like, this will work.
I also have ADD, so I get very
the ADD club here.
Yeah, right.
Two-thirds of this podcast have ADD.
Well, true story. I was giving a lesson to one of my lady friends a while back, and mid-sentence, a balloon went across the driving range. So, like mid-sentence, I was like, "Oh, a balloon!" I watched the balloon go by all the way, just float, and then I went like right exactly back, like to the word of where I was, in the sentence. She starts laughing. I was like, "What?" She goes, "You didn't even notice what you did." I was like, "What did I do?" It didn't even dawn on me that, just attention to detail is what I'm so, keen on. And with the golf swing, you got to have that. And you got to have a passion for it. So obviously that passion keeps me focused on what I'm doing with my students.
Unless the balloon goes by.
Yeah, unless the balloon goes by, yeah. But yeah, it's just, an indicator that I get bored. So I love using physics and I love using anatomy to actually test my boundaries, jumping off of chairs and hanging upside down and, just trying different things to push that barrier to find not perfect, but efficient and effective.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
So stemming from the trick shot game, I mean, you're doing this all the time and this world, but like for the consumer out there who sees a trick shot specialist, how do you nail a trick shot? How long do these things take? I mean, can you tell us a few examples? Like I know Rob has one example that he loves of your content recently.
Oh yeah.
So the longest one took 10 hours. And the only reason why it took that long is because the first time a landlord messed it up, the second time the hurricane messed it up, and then the third time a neighbor messed it up. So it's a shot where I hit a golf ball, real golf ball, which I, have the cojones to actually use real golf balls in my house.
All right.
And hit it. Yeah, it's fun. Plus it builds confidence in your game when you do trick shots over and over in repetition.
And you are not married then, right?
No, that's correct.
Great, neither am I.
There would be yelling or door slamming if I did any of these things.
Honey, can I come in?
Right.
Golf ball flying by.
But it basically, I kind of had to reset every single time my landlord moved it. You got to get the idea. The slab on the outside of my front door, which I hit into an apartment. Basically, it's a townhome, and I have the bottom floor. So I hit into the first door, hits a slab, a stone slab. It hits two other slabs in my house, goes into a cardboard, catcher, and then down a 15-foot tube, which I had grass turf on that a company had sent me for my actual indoor living room area, which is kind of fun. and then hits 2 other slabs, bounces off a cooler container top, and then it rolls on a perfect practice putting mat and right into the hole. But it took me a while because the storm messed up the backyard, which I already had set up perfect, because I couldn't fit the tube in my house, so I had to tape everything up and try it, and then it would start raining or whatever. I had to take the tube out and then shut the door. So it was a disaster at the same time, a success. So that's a trick shot. You do it until you just don't.
Do you feel like the ADD helps? Because like this is clearly something that you're very passionate about and focused on. And listen, I was not diagnosed with ADD. Pretty sure I have it, as my wife and everybody else in my life can tell you. But when you get onto something that you like want to finish or accomplish, like nothing can tear you away from that. Is that pretty much how you? Yeah,
that's pretty much. Unless I have something that I have to do, and in that case, I just kind of leave it to the side. I'm like, I really hope someone does not touch this because this took me, 30, 40 minutes to get it right, and of course, that's how it happened. But that's the art of doing a trick shot that's this difficult. But if it's just like flopping it into a cup or chipping it into a cup, then maybe 20 minutes tops.
And like, what about when the cup's on the ceiling?
That was, gosh, I want to say 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
Because I had to make it. I had to make the cup. That's what took so long.
Oh, okay.
And then I had to make sure it stuck to the ceiling in the proper way, because if it didn't and it didn't stay and I made it, I'd be so mad. I actually had to make it twice because I was initially doing it for TikTok, and I had the idea. I was like, well, I'll just do this and then see how it looks. It was completely rendered. It was very fuzzy because the front camera is way worse than the back camera, even though they say it's good. It's not. So then I basically did it twice. I had to do it, but it was tiring. My back was really messed up during that period, so I was wearing a brace while I was making those flop shots. And you make sacrifices, it happens.
So just an update, because there's some new people joining us in. So we've got Colin McCarthy with us tonight. Tell us, so you are a PGA card carrying member?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and
I am.
You are a coach and a trick shot expert, I'd call it. Do you play on the tour, or do you try out for the tour, or depending on what's going on in life? Or
a long time ago, I attempted. It wasn't very long-lived, only because I injured myself probably every week doing something fluky. I've dislocated my left shoulder 13 times. Then I had obviously surgery on that. So it didn't help. Within the span of playing tournaments, I'd also have 3 other jobs that I was doing. So it just didn't work out. It's very, very pricey for anyone that's, trying to make it on tour. They understand how expensive it actually is, and probably a minimum of 80 grand a year just to start, as is. And it's very competitive. So I have a lot of respect for everyone that does that out there and is willing to make that investment. I wasn't, because obviously I'd get up, I'd be in pain some days, and some days I wouldn't be. I didn't know I had that spine issue. It just was very strange. So I thought to myself, why don't I coach? Why don't I try and grow the game in a different way? I wish I did it. Wish I did it then, because now, man, imagine what I'd be in YouTube. I haven't even jumped into that genre yet, that area, but I will be very soon.
So when you're back up and ready to go, tell us your favorite course of all time that you have played, and where would you like to play that you haven't yet?
Favorite course sources, because there's just too many. I've played too many to name one. Wolf Run, Indiana. It's amazing. That's sadly closed. But it was a private course, very beautiful, just very tight, narrow fairways, trees everywhere. But it looked like it belonged there the whole time. Like it was just kind of designed. It wasn't like, oh, put a huge mogul there and with a bunker on top. Now, speaking of that, Pete Dye French Lick, that's a totally different story. One of the hardest golf courses I've played, considering there's a 301 yard par 3. Yeah.
Wow.
I would challenge that.
Yeah, I challenged that hole quite vigorously, and then I had a few choice words for Pete Dye, but I hit it to 20 feet and then made the putt. Now I was very stoked. So it was, what a day that was. I got smoked at the same time I smoked Pete Dye. So it's kind of
there you go.
There you
a
go.
battle.
Give and take.
Itself. Yeah, give and take. Exactly.
Some punches.
That's golf.
So what courses that you'd love to play? Like, I can't, like, you haven't, it's on the bucket list, but you haven't got there yet.
Augusta National is the top. I hope to get there someday. I know Eric Anderslang has played it. I know a few other social media influencers have played it. So maybe someday it'll happen for me and have that great honor to play there. Cape Kidnappers is pretty cool. And there's so many beautiful golf courses out there. It's hard to pinpoint those. But
played in Montana at all, or Wyoming area?
I haven't. I'd love to. I'd also love to play Coeur d'Alene with the floating island green, which is very interesting. Always seems so appealing. Just that idea of having I think it's a $4 million green. Could be wrong, but it's that much, which I just think is impressive in itself. Could be wrong. Could be 14. I'm not sure. I think it's 4 though.
Yeah. But I mean, is it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, as a golf entertainer, in general, and someone that's got an influence on Instagram and different platforms, and a coach, right? You've got some clout around some of these places, and I think it's easier to build relationship, right? When you got clout for anybody.
Yes.
And I noticed you got and I wanted to ask you, like brands like, Body Armor, Footjoy, DraftKings, you mentioned, had some different things. Were those partnerships that you sought out and said, like, hey, I'm going to do this stuff, I'm going to tag them, I'm going to seek them out? Or did they see you and come after you and say, hey, we want to team up with you for X, Y, and Z? Or what was the story behind those alliances? Because I think people are interested in how entertainers or whoever gets,
Yeah, so they kind of they grow naturally. I always was a giant fan of Footjoy. Footjoy has fit my foot since I was a little kid, because I've had pain in the butt, high arches, and I have a high instep on my foot. So those are perfect for people that believe they have a wide foot, but really they actually don't. It's very interesting how their whole shoe fitting process works too. And when they initially, it was kind of like hey, I recognize you when I was walking by at the PGA show. And it's kind of from one person to another, with other products too. So I know a few people on Instagram. Adalio, for instance, he knew Body Armor and the guy that ran the page for Body Armor, and we kind of had a friendship. I grew, and then I did a shot for him. He didn't know I was doing it, but I was like, I got something pretty stellar for you guys that you might like, with your kickoff for, probably, when did I do this? Gosh, January, and I sat on it for 4 months for them, because,
right?
Yeah, I posted that bottle flip.
Yep.
And I sat on that for a good 4 months, I think, and it was worth it. He didn't know that I was going to do that for them, because we already had kind of a friendship. But I was like, I got some cool stuff for you guys coming up. So so I showed it to him. He was just beyond stellar. He was so stoked. He's like, we're going to post that on our page. We're going to, do whatever we can for you. That's amazing. And it was probably one of the hardest shots I've ever done, just in a short range shot. It took a little while, probably, I think it was just at an hour because it was a little breezy. So bottle was moving obviously, and with the breeze.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, it's just, it's just a little different with every single company that I've had. I've been with Next Belt since the beginning, since the first PGA show. It's just usually a friend through a friend. That's how it usually works. Searching out companies, it does work. Gary Vee says to just keep DMing people, DMing. You'll find somebody. But usually it works, with referrals so much more.
Got an in, right?
Yeah, there's social proof, right? So somebody trusts somebody, then they're going to trust that person trusts the right person.
Yeah.
A little bit more than just a cold DM. So
right.
Exactly.
That does make sense.
Fireball and the rest is history.
Al DM'd Fireball and said, "Can you send me a bunch of tiny little bottles?"
I don't want the big ones. I want the baby ones. People respond to those. So then the friendship was born, and there you have it.
Yeah.
Just a reminder to everyone watching, we're going to be doing some rapid fire questions in approximately 15, 20 minutes or so. Random questions you can ask Al, Rob, Colin, myself, whatever you want. We'll hammer them out in little tiny, Al, bite-sized answers.
That's right, John.
As fast as we can. By the way, Colin, Al loves tiny things.
There you go. Yeah, I like tiny little miniature things.
Like miniature, like collectible things.
Colin knows.
Yeah,
you know
things.
what I'm talking about.
I don't know if anybody knows what you're talking about.
Golf's good. They've got small balls. And,
There you go.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen
little
those
tees.
Have you seen the mini golf sets? I mean, come on.
Oh, the sets that you're on the John and
They're
you're
like
playing
tiny,
with them.
yeah, they're tiny little.
The toilet sets. Yeah, that you
I
can
love
practice
that.
your putting. Then they got the Arnie. It's called an Arnie toy.
Uh-huh.
Basically, it's got a little trigger and it has a little thing that goes around like this.
Oh,
I actually did a couple tricks. Yeah, I was very
Down the
sore
stairs
that
with Arnie.
day.
You were sore?
I was very sore. Could not walk the next day. I
Wow.
went up and down those stairs quite a few times.
There you
Those as in all the stairs that I went down. It took probably collective, I would say, an hour and a half to do all three of those. Because I didn't want to do just one. I want to do compilation.
Yeah.
An hour and 15 minutes was spent walking up and down the stairs.
It's in our post, but remind everybody what your Instagram handle is so they can go watch all these trick shots and actually get context of what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's Colin McCarthy Golf. I've had it changed several times, but it's Colin McCarthy Golf, COLAN. Just like how I name it spelled here.
Gotcha.
I'm posting it in the comments right now for everybody that wants to go check it out.
Did you ever do, or if you considered going like trick shot tour type stuff, with companies like Charity Golf International and stuff like that?
I'd love to. I just never had, I don't know how to even reach out to that. Like, I'd love to do that kind of stuff for
I've
them.
got a solid connection if you're interested.
I mean, obviously, I do work for a golf technology company, so trying to figure out a way where I can be full time and make enough, obviously, to live off of and kind of break away from that second job. I'm kind of in that transition right now.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, they're hurting for trick shot guys. I mean, they've
really
got a ton of long drive is their thing, like the long drive guys, par fives, whatever. But there's really only one guy that can do the trick shots well. Do you know a guy named Trevor Consavage? He's out of Tampa, Florida.
Sounds familiar.
But he's really he's sort of their ace in the hole for trick stuff, real trick entertainment. So I bet you if you reached out to I can connect you fairly easily.
Anything for charity, yeah. I'm
a good gig.
I'm all about coaching. Huge into coaching. Looking for a great gig for coaching. If I can find one, that'd be, phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's and that's the same thing. You're looking for a good connection with the members and also with the public in the area. So I've been doing a lot of research on that too. But it's all, like I said, it's in a transition, so it's very very careful of how I do this, so I have enough money to live.
Yeah, right. So we're talking about opportunities here, and your sponsorships, the trick shot side of things, the content creation side of things, which is kind of full circle with the sponsors, plus the coaching. What's the best opportunity you've been presented with, whether it's been your hard work and you put yourself there, or it came happenstance, or you've been connected with somebody? What's the best opportunity that you can think of in your professional career, and how did that pan out?
Working at Martis Camp was a really cool experience. And that happened over Facebook, because I've been in forums for a long time in Facebook. Not so much now, but I used to be back in 2017, 16, 15. I was in a lot of Facebook forums. We would talk about the golf swing, professional to professionals of coaching. And I got the job, but, within a week, because I was looking, and phenomenal golf course. Just, like I said, the atmosphere there was wonderful, but very few members, and the director of golf was going to be there quite a while. So working from that step up, I'd be there for, gosh, a very, very long time before I found anything. So then I had a great opportunity to work for an individual in Florida. So I moved from California to Florida. So those are all through social media advancement by Facebook, which I thought was great. And then now I'm getting, all kinds of outreaches for Instagram as well. So I would say working at one of the #1 clubhouses that have been built in the US, it was an honor to work there. It's amazing. It's just unbelievable. If you ever look up Martis Camp, you kind of understand, what I'm talking about. But yeah, that was a pretty cool milestone to be offered that job.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
So you mentioned social media in there as being kind of the conduit of this. Kind of a sidebar question to that. What kind of opportunities just the sheer number of having, I don't know how many followers you have on Instagram, 45,000 or something like that, but just having the engagement that you have, not even the followers, but the engagement, the fans following you. You were on a show. What is this? What doors is this opening for you, no matter how small or large?
Many. Like I said, there could be tomorrow there could be a golf pro that sees a video on either Instagram or Facebook that says, "Hey, I want you to come work for me at my golf course and be director of instruction." That would be amazing, But in the same route, Holey Moley, ABC, Steph Curry's show, reached out to me because I had, what did I have then? Maybe it was like 17 or 19,000. They liked my, my personality, how I interacted with my story and my followers, and they're like, "Hey, why don't you come on the show and see how you do, and so forth." And I did an interview with them. They love me. I love the idea, and I also told them, make sure there's more than one way to make a hole-in-one, or else it'll be boring, and they liked that. And I think that's why I got on the show. And then I won Holey Moley, my season anyway, the episode, because there was 10 of them in season 1. And it was, and it wasn't really the competition that blew me away. It was meeting all the people. It was cool. I met a guy that played with my grandfather that I didn't even know.
From the show? Or on the show or whatever?
On the show. He was 20 minutes away from me, living in North Adams, and I had no idea. He played the same golf course I played at that my grandfather kind of designed himself. So it was cool. A great experience. I'm very grateful for social media right now. Like you said, small doors, big doors, any doors that are opening. I want to open them and see what they have to say. And it's like a door to beyond this. This is great. It's just one other way to grow the game and get people to actually say, "Hey, why don't I try and pick up a club right now and see what happens, see if I like it. People get kind of confused and overwhelmed with golf. Just pick up one club, go to the thrift shop. It doesn't matter. And just buy a 7-iron. See if you, go for it. Go to driving range. No judgment. They should have that like they do in Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
Judgment-free zone. Yeah, right. That'd be good. But apparently, say that again.
I said, is there going to be a lunk alarm as well on the golf course?
There should be. There should be.
What would it be if you were going to put a lunk alarm on a golf course? What would the thing be that the lunk alarm goes off?
Okay, so
wait, can I guess? Would it be for the number of people who try to hit it as far as possible off the tee?
Like horse it off the tee?
No, just like I'm gonna go full bore. I'm gonna see like, even though in their head they're like, nope, this is how I should hit it. But every time they walk up to the tee, they just go as hard as they possibly can.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But even I would say the person that twirls their club, even on a bad shot, like on on the range, because I think people take that club twirl a little bit far. I mean,
what's the club?
The Tiger club twirl?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been around since before Tiger, but there's like this epic moment where he's wearing an Argyle shirt, which kind of sucks to say, but he's wearing an Argyle shirt. Yeah. It wasn't his decision to wear it. It was the team colors.
Okay.
And I think it's a 3-iron. He just kind of spins it and like walks.
Okay.
And then some guy, I can't remember his name, he made a Lego recreation of that actual moment too. Oh, wow. So it kind of stuck in a lot of people's heads, and then just started, how do you do the club twirl? And now everyone's kind of doing it. And
now it's cliche.
I do it quite a bit because I'm left-handed, and the way I grip it, when I let go of the club, it does it pretty much anyways. Oh, right. Sometimes I'll emphasize it, just out of habit. What? But people are like, oh, club twirl. Like, I didn't mean to do it. I could drop the club and it's still going to twirl because it's just the way I'm gripping it. It's kind of funny. I'd say that, though.
That one for sure. What are two other pet peeves where you're like, you're hitting the lunk alarm, they're out? See ya.
A lot of practice swings.
There it is.
A lot of practice swings.
What's the limit?
2 or 3.
That's more than enough.
Yes. Okay. So
you're just wasting. My dad always said you wasted your best swing.
And I have a lot of people that are sending me swings because they're in quarantine.
Sure.
And they're not hitting a ball. I'm like, sir, ma'am, can you please be hitting a golf ball while making this swing? Because a practice swing looks almost nothing like the actual when you're trying to actually attempt to hit, because it's totally different. But I still try and help them. Like, oh, I can't hit a ball right now. Oh, you can work on this, work on that.
Do you help them edit the video 10 seconds later when they actually hit the ball? Like,
yes. So they also, like, you have no idea. Some old people just send me a video. I'm like, how can I help you? Just, with nothing. Oh, can you get rid of my slice? Like, yes, I can. But you have to at least say, hey, how are you? Like, can you help me with this? These are my misses. Like, just send me like that, like verbatim. Like, it's like you pulling on your sleeve.
Fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Fix it. You don't just do that to a doctor. You don't go into his office and open his door and say, hey, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah. Just stick your tongue in his mouth. That's basically what it's like. Then they'll send me a bunch of question marks. Like, I don't see their DM. I'm like,
it's frowned upon. So wait,
just relax. I'll get to you. It's okay.
So people just send you stuff like unsolicited fix me type messages, or is this like clients you've taken out?
Oh, I encourage that for sure. Yeah. I say send me your swing, but at least have something along with it. Hey, I'm so-and-so, Joshua.
Yeah. Tell them, like, politely send me
exactly
videos and ask me how I'm doing. Otherwise, I won't respond.
because I'm doing something. And then it's like me on the golf course. You don't just walk up right in front of me and go, "Hey, what do you think of this?" Like, you don't do that. Just seeing this, like at that actual, it just makes me laugh because people are golfers have a tendency to be very impatient, which is very ironic because you have to have so much patience. You know, so that'd be my second thing. And then I guess the third thing would just be, just taking so long, like talking while you're on the hole, like just like around, like, oh, what did you guys get? Well, that was a lovely shit. They just
slow
pace,
play,
just pace of play, because it doesn't just affect me; it affects everyone on the course. You know, people are there to. And some people are trying to be there for like an hour so they can get back to their to their wife or something. Yeah. So you know, it's good that you can go out there and relax, but when it's very slow, it's very hard to relax. I know. So hard to relax.
Somebody once told me it's like LA traffic, right? Like in LA, if one person taps the brakes, like literally. Yeah, like literally, like the red circle, right? The red light goes on their car, and that's it. Well, then the chain reaction that happens for the next 3 miles from that one little brake light is like burp,
mess.
Yeah, like the golf course.
Yeah, no, it's exactly. And unless someone wants to play through, and then if you play through, please be good enough that you advance, because some people will play through. Yeah, don't take 5 practice swings and then clear off, top it. Like, know that you can play through and have the etiquette to say, do you mind if I play through, and be a decent amount, you know, like if you know to pick up when you're playing through, if you're hitting it bad, just pick up, go to the next hole, you know, and have that kind of that courtesy, I would say. And a lot of people, you know, golfers themselves, I would say, have a confidence level, an ego, because golf is you got to have a lot of confidence to play well. So there's that balance that sometimes it's hard to find in golfers too. The great golfers, like really, really good ones, sometimes you'll just find a really, really like just uptight kind of douchey. Yeah, and it's just like, whoa, like there's no need for that.
If I were
like, why are you that way?
Like, I would hustle guys right off the course. I'd be like, listen, if I can make this into this cup, you leave. Like, you have to go home, and that's it. So it's a 1 in a million chance. I probably won't make it, but if I do,
you got to dress up in like jeans and like New Balance white sneakers.
Yeah, like I would,
like an old guy. Jamie Sadlowski did that long drive. One of my all-time favorite videos on social media when he did that. So he won long drive 2 years in a row.
Sure.
The world long drive. Yep. And he's the same height as me in the same build. And he got dragged, which is like 5'10", 5'11" in golf shoes. Woo! And he's like, you know, 170 soaking wet. And it's really funny to see him all dressed up in just this like cheerily perfect old guy, like Bad Grandpa kind of style. And
like the cigar jacket or whatever it's called.
If you look this up, it's just so good. And he gets just flabbergasts people. It's so funny. And people are like so fooled by it. They think this grandpa's hitting it close to 400 yards. And it's great. You know,
fantastic.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Well,
I love it.
If things get bad, God forbid, you know, you can always go down that path. Just hustling dudes on the course, being like, well, here it is. Got a red Solo Cup, and I'll bet you $1,000.
Yeah, it's just my competitive nature is not where it used to. I've changed so much with all my injuries that I've had. It's hard to trust my body from one hole to the next. Mm-hmm. So I love seeing other people do what I know I can already do or have done. And that feeling that you do when you do it the first time, I want them to have it. That's why I do this. And then I do all these trick shots to make it, you know, more entertaining. And I do them for, you know, the actual like science and math behind it. I'm just hitting a billion balls. Yeah. because you see on TikTok, you see these balls are everywhere in people's screens, and like,
I know.
and it's so cool to see them doing all these shots. But like, I want to be able to do it for 20 to 30 minutes, at least make it, and then move on and help my students. So I'm adding the entertainment level and getting them to the, to that game. Gosh, if I had that kind of time to do trick shots and sponsors and all kinds of stuff, I would be creating content all the time. Like, GM Golf and all those guys do, just cool content, going to courses. That would be like the life, just be able to do that. And that's what they're doing. And they're killing it.
Yeah.
And they're creating this army of young kids that love golf. I mean, you should see the comment lists on their YouTube. It's like 400 or 500 comments, and they're not commenting, back on every single one, because they just go, and it would take you a week straight to do like 10 videos commenting back. That's how many comments they have. It's impressive. So,
but I mean, that's how the Dude Perfect guys got started, right? Like, the
yeah,
Perfect guys literally.
Now they have to hire people to run their
special
Instagram.
about that, like, in terms of their strategy, like they just did trick shots on anything and everything. So,
all right, so
awesome.
Just a reminder, everyone, we're going to hit rapid fire questions in just a few minutes. So if you have any questions for Colin, myself, Al, Rob, pop them in the comments. Rob will read them back shortly, and we'll hammer them out. Rob will tell all of us the rules in just a moment.
So, Colin, everybody knows that, it takes so many hours to hone your skill and to get good at what you're doing, both on the course and with the trick shots. But when you're not focused on that, what do you spend your time doing for enjoyment?
Honestly, enjoy just relax. Well, right now, relaxing at home, catching a Netflix here and an Amazon Prime Video there. And I usually work out. I'm either cooking or working out. I used to be a personal trainer, so I have that like lifestyle of doing that. And then, I'm on social media hoping to interact with every single commenter, every single DMer on there, just to make sure that they know I'm doing this all for them. I mean, yeah. I didn't even really think of myself as an influencer or anything like that. I just love the game so much. I want to give as much as I can back with the time I have. So pretty much what I do is that. Maybe play pool and go out and have a couple
waters.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I like going to downtown Atlanta now. Well, I used to until this whole COVID stuff. But yeah, it's fun just meeting up with friends and going to play pool or darts, just relaxing.
Cool. I think we got a few more questions directly from us, so we'll rapid shoot those to you, and then we'll jump right into our rapid fire questions after that. Cool. So, John, you have more left for him?
If you could play a round of golf with anybody in history or present, who would it be?
Yeah.
Alive, dead.
Mo Norman. I don't know if anybody knows who Mo Norman is.
No. Who is that?
Mo Norman, Ben Hogan, or Bobby Jones. Any of those three. But Mo Norman was, and any tour player would tell you, this is probably the best ball striker to ever live. He's Canadian. He had autism, and he was ran over by a vehicle when he was very little. So he was very, very special individual, just very misunderstood. And I see a lot reasons why, as the more I learn about him over stories that I've heard from all players that I've met and everyone. But one story is they set up 10 golf balls, telephone pole 200 yards away. You just take a guess how many times he hit it.
How many?
You guys?
7.
8 times.
Whoa.
8 times from 200 yards away, a telephone pole.
That's insane.
That's how good this guy was. it's just it's incredible. But yeah, those 3 individuals would be pretty cool to play with.
Nice.
Cool.
Al, any one last question?
Golf's off the table. No more golf ever again, or maybe never on the table. What would be the other career choice, other thing that like is you?
Personal training,
Personal
definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
It's easy.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome.
Quick side note: I graduated college with a degree in kinesiology and was a strength coach, sport performance coach for about a decade. 3 years in Richmond, Virginia, where I trained a lot of golfers. Yeah. So we have that in common.
That's awesome. Yeah, appreciate that. And you guys doing that for? Was it golf concentrated, or was it more like core motivated, or was it what kind of?
So I think I've told this story on an earlier podcast, but Frank Easterly is a CEO of a company who I attribute to my dive into entrepreneurship and business. But he was the very first person to ask me if I could train him personally. At the time, I was working for a strength and conditioning facility. And he said, I want to be trained to be a better golfer. I don't want you to train me how to golf, but I want you to train my body how to be a better golfer.
Yeah.
And so
Functionally.
Functionally, yeah. So that's where the whole thing started. And it was a lot of passionate amateur golfers, and that led to then starting to train certified PGA pros, only a few actual players, a lot of coaches. But that also launched my fascination with golf.
Yeah,
coincidentally.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Appreciate that.
Last question, Colin. So what's your next business venture that you're working on?
I would definitely say I'm going to be tackling YouTube. I'm going to be doing a lot of instructional videos. People saying, oh, well, you do a lot of trick shots. I see that. I'm trying to get my mind off of trick shots and diving into what I know as the golf swing in general, very specific, to the point, to the people, what they should be practicing, how they're going to practice it, and what kind of grip you should be using. Just very specific, in detail instruction that you can't get across to people on short-term platforms like TikTok and Instagram, which you just got scrollers all the time. Yeah. To just constantly scroll like. They don't want to take the time to, as soon as a word pops out of someone's mouth without action, swipe. That's just what happens. So that's what I'm going to try and do on YouTube as best I can without getting too ADD, and just stick with what I'm doing. Because I just want to hit shots, because I just love that. And I want to show people how I hit those shots, how I break down every single shot that I can possibly do. And it's not something I was born with. It's something that I learned. I was not a great golfer like I am, or was, 10 years ago, score-wise anyway. I'm a great ball striker, but it's because of what I know and how I've got about knowing it. That's how I do what I do, not some skill that I don't know how I'm doing.
Sure.
Good words of wisdom. Okay, guys. So here we are. We're wrapping up with the rapid fire questions for the night. So here's the rules: 20 seconds or less on the answer. If you get stumped, you just say pass, and we'll move on through.
I need another bottle of wine for this.
Bring it on.
Damn, bro.
I'm drinking for two. I'm drinking for Colin also.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Right.
First question goes to you, Colin, from Nick Pasha. Nick says, do you find yourself looking for trick shots when you're playing a professional round of golf? And how do you separate the trick shot life from professional life?
Professional as in playing or coaching. When it's coaching, I see it come back to it. If it's playing, then I do it and execute it in one shot. If I don't, I come back to it.
Okay.
There it is.
Love that sound.
John, you got it?
I'm looking.
There it is.
I think it's that sound satisfaction thing in that golf and the pop of it. Yep. Okay. Keep going.
The golf ball. I get it.
That's ADD right there. That's ADD
there
right there. That's just what happened. Wait a moment. That was good. Okay.
Who's next? What's the next question?
All right. So next question from Lindsay to Colin. How do you constantly think of new trick shots?
I'm a lefty, so I'm very right brains. You don't want to know what's up here.
Me too,
I just see it. I can just that right there. I'm doing it. Or just I'm in the grocery store and I see something, or in Home Depot, and I'm like,
damn, that's your next TikTok video right there.
Grocery store.
Like fishing line was a random thought. If you ever seen one of those trick shots that I did.
Oh. All right, Al, this one's for you. You have to answer it in 20 seconds or less. In 20 seconds or less, tell everybody about the time that you ran over your own ankle with a golf cart.
What?
Who asked it?
There's only one person that knows about this.
That's my
Mama Kutri.
Mama Kutri.
It's real simple. I went out. I was playing in a tournament, and I was like nervous because my buddy was like, "Hey, you know, are you a good golfer?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be just fine." And I lied, you know, because I just wanted to play in the tournament. It was a high-profile tournament. I'll be just fine. He was like, "Well, you know, can you at least play bogey golf?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." Like,
hey,
of course I can play bogey golf. Like, how dare you insult me? So then I went and practiced for like 2-3 days in a row just to kind of.
Oh God.
I know. Lunk alarm on that one, douchebag. So anyway, I was going by myself, and I had my another douchebag move. I had my leg like hanging out of the cart, like just getting some air. Boom, hit a bump. I went over like a little hill that was a little something, and I literally ran over my own foot with the golf cart. Like underneath.
You were hanging your foot, weren't you?
For those people listening, do not put your foot out of the cart ever. Amen. Because I know a dude that broke his leg in 3 places doing that, and he did it all the time.
I never
don't do it. Yeah, There's no cool appeal at all to it. You're just.
I was alone.
Exactly.
I was alone. Like, wasn't trying to impress.
So I just picture Al like cruising along, leg out the side, just like so happy, breathing his air.
Wham! Bump. Right underneath. I thought
broken ankle
off my foot, and I was like, "Oh my God!" So whatever. There you have it.
At least you're going fast.
No fireball was consumed during that shot.
Stupid idiot.
All right, next up, guys. One for all of us. Here's the question from Beatrice. Would you rather go back to age 5 with everything you know now, or to know now everything your future self will learn? John.
5. 100%.
5.
Al.
I'm going back, and I'm going back with all this knowledge.
I'm going back and going on tour. Going on tour.
At age 5.
Age 5.
First 5-year-old on the PGA Tour ever.
Yep. And I'm with you.
The tips.
So we're all going back to 5. Great. Next one.
5 as well. All right. Lindsay asks, question for everyone. What's your go-to song to get you pumped up?
Oh, man. It depends on the mood, Lindsay. I'm really not sure. There's so many. Macklemore comes to mind. I don't know. I like his lyrics.
I got 3. It's either these are all over the map too. Literally like 3 different genres. It's either Kanye West, Amazing, with Jeezy as featuring Jeezy. It's End of Heartache, Kill Switch Engage, or Wanted Dead or Alive, Bon Jovi, or Enter Sandman, Metallica. Sorry, 4.
That's 4. That's too many.
That's too many. I know. All right, take out Metallica.
What do you got, Al?
Mine's super simple. If anyone's been watching Money Heist, does anyone watch that?
Yes.
No,
so
but
good.
You've been talking. Wait, Colin, do you also vote over here for Money Heist? Good show.
Yes.
Because Al's just been.
It's the best. Okay, it's the best dubbed series I've ever seen. And I don't like dub stuff.
No, me either. Good. Like as soon as you say dubbed, I'm like
good.
Okay, all right. I'll watch it tonight.
So
I'll start tonight.
It's the song, the theme song, not the theme from the show, but the song in there gets me jacked up. That ciao bella, ciao bella, ciao.
Oh my God.
that tune, that tune does something to me, and it turns me into like a criminal, and I love it.
Is that why you've been staying up till 5 a.m. recently? Is that song plays and you're just like,
yes.
Over.
The cliffhangers in that I want to punch the director because the cliffhangers make you want to watch the next one.
oh man,
This show
they're
is
mean.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Sucked down the rabbit hole.
Okay, that's
all
it.
right.
Ciao.
So I've got two. I'll go old school back to Eye of the Tiger.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then
I can't go wrong with that.
Anything that we can get Al to play on the saxophone, but we just can't get him to play enough on the sax, but whatever.
By the way, Colin, Al is a professional saxophone player.
Oh,
and
so were you that dude for Halloween that one time? Please tell me you were.
Which dude?
Unfortunately, that wasn't me.
But you have to be that guy at least one time for Halloween.
I'll eventually get there. Well, the jumpsuit makes me nervous.
You should just appear on the podcast like that one time.
That's going to go real well.
I think it'll go great.
All right. Hank wants to know if Colin can putt with a hockey stick. Of course he can. Have you seen any of his shit on Instagram?
Yes. I can putt with my foot. So
just get in the hole. Is that a Happy Gilmore reference? Is he referencing Happy Gilmore?
Yeah, gotta be.
I did it in actually a mini trick shot compilation. I was playing with my parents, and I just was like, no, and then I hit it with my I hit it with my foot, and it just went in. We all started laughing, like the entire hole from the mat.
That's awesome.
I was like, okay, next hole.
All right, we're almost out of time.
All right.
All
right. Lindsay has got a specific question for Colin. Colin, what workouts do you do or advise for people to do to have their best game of golf?
Definitely. You don't have to focus mainly on golf specific exercises, just functional exercises, pushing away, pulling, squats, lunges, and core. I mean, I see all these people with cable pulls and just crazy stuff. Like, just do functional exercises that make you more stable. That's simple.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, folks, that does wrap it up for tonight. So, Colin, tell us again where we can find you and consume your content.
Yeah, it's Colin McCarthy Golf on Instagram, Colin McCarthy on YouTube, Colin_McCarthy on TikTok. And my website is colinmccarthypga.com.
Rock on.
Awesome. I'm going to look you up to run over to Top Golf the next time I'm in Atlanta. And
I was always
going to go
Durrell doing that, but we definitely need to go to Alpharetta. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yep. Look forward to that.
Nice, man. Well, heal up, rest up. Hopefully you're out of the bed real soon.
Thank you so much.
And we look forward to lots of golf instruction and possible trick shots coming from you from the future. Peace, man.
Have a lot. Thank you so much, all you guys.
Yeah.
Get better soon.
See you later.
Cheers.
All right, everyone. As always, super appreciative to everyone who tuned in, from Rob, Al, myself. We appreciate you so much, especially in this quarantine age when you have so much content being flung your way. You've chosen to listen or watch us. Remember, we have these episodes every Tuesday and Thursday evening with special wildcard shows on Sunday nights where the three of us get pretty wild, pretty crazy. We do some awesome stuff, and it's just an all-around fun time. So check back on Sundays. But this Thursday, we have the CEO of Bad Drip, Bob Anderson, coming in. He also is a partner in numerous other companies, and he's going to talk about listen, I know this guy personally. He's a rock star. He's hilarious. He doesn't have a filter, so I'm super pumped about this. But he's also a very successful businessman at the same time. So I'm really excited to chat it up and interview him. So tune back Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Ask your questions ahead of time if you want to. We'll have Instagram stories out there and IGTV ready to go. But ask your questions. If not, pop in during the show. Ask your questions. Till then, fellas.
Peace out.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey.
Oh, yep.